Ah, how's that for an intro? Let's make it happy day.
Yeah, happy days.
Hey,
Happy days.
everybody. Who we got in the house?
Ooh.
There's Johan. There's Charlie. There's Satin. There's Jerry. There's Lori. We got to go. What do we got? We got, what, 15 people up already. There's Natalie.
Gee.
Yeah, so today this is our last episode of Decoded. We're going to finish it out. The rest of the chapters are just basic stuff. Like we're going to talk about Nix's trip and just certain things, just to kind of close the book out. I'm done with the book. I've had enough of what the discussion has been. I mean, what do you guys think? It's a great book.
You pretty much done decoding.
I am totally decoded. I have been decoded, dewormed, de everything.
But don't you feel better about it?
Well,
I enjoyed the book though.
oh, I did too. It's amazing just some of the things that I never would have even thought about.
Mm-mm.
Like for example, what's the color of his freaking pajamas, or just things that what difference does a freaking make type. The conclusion should always say, "What freaking difference does it make?" But
Did he
it's been
have pants
interesting stuff.
on? Did he have
Yeah.
pants on, or was he naked from the waist down? I've heard that one too. He was naked.
Yeah,
He
Mm.
didn't
yeah.
have a toilet. He was on the floor, in front of the toilet.
Well, that's
He-
pretty much what you do if you go sit on the toilet. I've never heard of anyone sitting on the toilet with their pants up.
yeah,
I tried it.
not being sober at the same time.
I've tried
No.
it. It's a little messy, but I've tried.
Yeah. So, oops, we don't want that one. We want this one right here. That's for the future stuff.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. I found it fascinating. I love the way that Patrick put the book together
Hmm.
because he gave you all these different explanations, and then you come to a conclusion, and pretty much, you come to the general consensus type of opinion on things. Of course, we spent the majority of it on the pre-death, death, autopsy, burial, and the theft and all that stuff. But the is Elvis alive stuff that didn't really interest me much, but though it was interesting to be able to call out. It was fun to be able to call out the idiocy of Gail and whoever else was out there perpetuating this rumor.
we have a good one coming up, though.
What's that?
Elvis, what happened? We got a good one coming up. That should
Oh
be.
yeah,
It shouldn't
Yeah,
take that long. Shouldn't take that long either.
yeah. We start that on Friday, 3 o'clock.
That's gonna be a good one. We're
That's
going to say a bunch of
well,
bullshit.
yeah. It's gonna be with four of us in that one, and we still
ooh.
got to come to a conclusion of what we're going to call that series because, well, yeah, I think Elvis, what happened? I was going through it last night. I think it might wind up to three, but it will not go more than 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's not
We
that.
can't, and we're beating it. We're flogging a dead horse,
Yeah,
you know. But I want to maintain it to just two, really, because I want to continue. Decoded, I didn't get burnt out on it. I just was ready
Mm-mm.
to move on.
Mm.
I will read the book again somewhere down the road. Just for myself because the details and stuff like that is fascinating.
They should have called the What Happened book. They should have called FNI.
FNI.
Yeah, Fuck Nuts Incorporated.
That's incorporated.
that was for which one? That was.
For Elvis, what happened?
For Elvis, what happened?
Oh, yeah. Elvis, what happened?
Yeah, I was reading through
Elvis,
it. I
I'm
was reading through it last night, and it's been. I think the second time I read it was not long after, probably within a year after it came out, and I never read it again.
Yeah, but you and I have had conversation about this. I think you're going to, and because of other interviews that I've done, I think some of these stories are going to be true.
Yeah, I think we'll find out. Not we're going to find out that they peppered it with the truth in order to get to make it a legitimate book. And most writers do that anyways when they're writing when they're like Steve Dunleavy. Let me put some fact in here so people will if it was just all fable and bullshit like that, people would. he would have gotten even less respect.
Or how about if we take this story and we embellish on it? Yeah,
Yeah,
someone dies and he did it and he hid to death. Was that type
Mhm.
of shit? Just
yeah,
garbage like that. But I liked it when I first got it. I liked it because I thought it was interesting, but I didn't believe a thing in it.
right. That's
Mm.
just, well. First time I read it, I was like, I hope this isn't true. I was 19 when it came out, and it was probably one of the first few. It was probably the second Elvis book I'd ever read that was along the lines like that. The first one I read was Jerry Hopkins' Elvis, and then I think Elvis What Happened. So you go, I went from one extreme to the other.
I
Um,
I didn't like it purely from the perspective that, barring the fact that I knew a lot of the shit was not true and it was way too embellished, I didn't like it for the fact that they made Elvis look like a complete asshole.
Mhm.
oh yeah, they did. They made him look like a drug. And I'm not talking about prescription drugs. I mean, they just made him like he was just any other, like Jim Morrison or any like that, but more.
Yeah.
It just, yeah. So some of them, and I think there's one scene in the book that it kind of sticks out my mind about them driving through the desert, him seeing Christ or something like that in the sky, or Joseph Smith, or Mickey Mouse or somebody. I don't remember what it was.
Splitting the
Oh,
cloud.
when he was talking about seeing Joseph Stalin when they were
Oh,
driving through the
yeah,
desert.
that was it. Yeah,
He had to been, if that really happened, he had to been stoned on something.
yeah.
That's all. Yeah. That's just it. They wanted to make him look like he was on drugs, and that story would certainly make you think it.
Hmm.
Well, thank you, Kathleen.
Yeah, that's a nice compliment. Of course, we're the most handsome one in the middle.
Who is y'all? The three handsome men. Yeah, but see, I'm the only man here, so these guys are children.
You can't get one by me, Cam.
No, I can't. I haven't learned to do that yet. Good one.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. But you know what? We got a great group of people here, man. We love it. So,
I don't know what the hell he's laughing at. It went right
who?
over my head. Yeah.
No,
Well,
because
what
I.
happened is he said the best looking one. She said three great looking men, and Cam says the one in the middle. So I
Everyone
moved
in
into the middle real quick.
Of course. Is that what you did? Oh shit!
Okay, now there we go. We
I
got
never even noticed.
now we got us all covered.
Okay.
Now we each have a turn, at a turn. Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. So today we finish off Decoded, and what I've done is instead of doing like I normally do with the rest of the book, is where I take it and I just put it all. Chat GPT helps me with some of it, but I take it and I put it together in the notes and a different summation so that we can it just make it flow through quicker than try to go through the actual pages. The rest of this book, we're just going to go through with the actual pages and we're just going to discuss the points. I'm not going to read the book, but parts I probably will, which I can in the reaction, any kind of reaction. That's what I'm allowed to do. I can't just sit here and read that book word for word. He comes in here, now and then. Good Lord, am I way past behind the comments?
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
He asked me if I was having a good time in the.
TV
Don't is anybody else
Yeah,
agree?
that's Neil Lancaster. He's a friend of mine on Facebook. He's a musician. He's in the UK, and he's been showing these. He's on a trip, and I forgot where it's at now, Neil. But he's been showing some awesome pictures of where he's at, and he's been involved in. He's actually played. Correct me if I'm wrong, Neil, but he's actually played in the cavern with his band,
Ooh.
and we all know what the cavern is. It's where the
Mm-hmm.
Beatles started out.
Yeah, I think Neil said earlier he's in Spain currently.
Yeah, that's where it is. Beautiful pictures, man. Beautiful pictures. All right, listen.
Oh, 1 second.
Oh, go for it.
Who likes this TV room better than the one there is now?
Yes, to a certain extent, yes.
Rick.
I like that one because it doesn't make your head disappear. Sometimes when you turn your head,
Hmm.
blend in better.
See, the problem with the delay here, you ask a question like that, and 5 minutes later, people start asking it. So,
Yeah, played the cavern 3 times. He's in Italy right now.
wow.
Oh, in Italy.
I,
I I like that one, Joe, because I like the records behind you, the
Yeah,
gold records.
That's what makes it, I think.
Yes.
yeah. My background, you got my pillow and my two bottoms of my guitar. What do y'all think about that one? I think Joe's is better.
I like
Of
both.
course, if I could just get that in the background,
This one is a cool.
I
I
gotta
like
get it lowered.
this one is a little cleaner, so to speak. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, so remember, let me put this up for y'all. When you got since we go fast and furiously, two big red question marks at the start of a question or a point that you really want us to catch real quick. I apologize. We will never be able to catch every single thing, but we will try our best to, catch them as we go. Between Joe, myself, and Cam, we usually do a pretty good job of that. So, uh,
Yeah, if you guys see smoke coming from any one of our ears, then slow down on the comments.
And then you got Rick, and it happens all the time. So
yeah, yeah, that's just the type of guy I am. You get me confused and I start smoking. Get me a little gummy.
Look at Cow.
What's that?
Look at Cow's question.
What color was his What were we just talking about? Just before you guys came on, we were talking about Decoded. You guys are great. I enjoy it. Thank you for keeping us. I needed that. I've had pretty interesting last couple of days that haven't
Cal,
been.
you, Cal, you too much of a wise ass. You need to go make a part two on the autopsy video.
Hey, just to let you all know, Kyle, who got the one on Sunday, the opportunity to be on inside the studio. We record this week's a replay. Next week, Kyle will be with us on inside the studio with the three songs he's already picked.
Hmm.
And now one of them we've done before, but I am more than happy to do it again. And I'm not going to say what they are because I think Kyle would probably like it to be a surprise. If you don't want it to be a surprise, let him know. But
Okay.
he's got three great songs, and we haven't done two of them, so that's going to be fun. And then he's picked his 10 for this Friday's show. So we got to get Joe on inside the studio one day with us. We'll do a recording episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever seen our inside the studio?
no, no, I have. Yeah,
Oh, you have? Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, we have fun with that. All right, guys, let's get to the book. Let's finish it off because next week we start Lisa Marie's book on this show, and then we got the Friday shows, which will be every week 3 o'clock with a new topic or a continued part of a topic. Um, y- you know, I enjoy those conversations. I've had a lot of fun in that, especially this last Friday when Cam joined us. That just made it even more more fun. You know.
It's gonna be cool to do Lisa's book. Majority is some good stuff. There's some hair raising stuff in there that we won't talk about, but most of the book is good. It's light-hearted. It's nice reading.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
So we're at chapter 19. It's just going to cover some of the events, and I'm just going to highlight it. Most of us know the story about him going to Dixon, but how much of the details do you have? Well,
This
let's,
might be good.
Martin?
This might get good.
Yeah, this will make it interesting because I don't I think there's going to be a lot of things that I never knew about it. But then we also did a watch one time of with Jerry Schilling talking with all the characters that were involved with that, with his staff, and it's an hour and a half discussion about it all. It's really interesting. And the gentleman that was head of, I can't think of his name, but he wrote a book about it, and it's one of the most popular books sold at the White House, as well as that picture of Nixon and them. That's the most sold photo at the White House. So
Wow.
it's still relevant to this day. Still the best selling. Isn't that cool?
That's nice.
All right, so I got to enlarge this page for a second. So, let me start all over. Elvis decides he's going to go visit Nixon, and he does this at 12:30 in the afternoon on December 21st, 1970. Now, the interesting part is the whole process of him getting there. And this story, from what I've learned and heard so far, is probably the true telltale of what Elvis was really like as a individual who wants to go do something but has all the power of a superstar to get it done. And
Hmm.
it's like a kid on a trip. I'm going to Disneyland today, and his focus was on getting this thing done. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's to me, it's a shining example. You read the story and you go, "Good Lord, this guy can go anywhere in the world at the drop of a hat."
Yeah.
But even when you read the story, the way it goes, it's like, geez, this is like so not only random, but it sounds like such a blast because he's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do it. Okay, he goes and does. Oh, like yeah, I'm going to the White House. Tell him to call me here. Like just the president, but get him to call me.
Well, what gets me about it all? Oh, maybe Joe might say it, but
No, I agree with everything you said, but can you imagine the people on the plane, on the jet?
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, he's fine commercial the whole time, and he
I know. Yeah.
a couple of connectors. But
Yeah.
I think the most fascinating piece of this whole thing is he shows up with a freaking gun.
Yeah. Fell out of
I mean, who else in the world could show up at the gate of the White House and still get in?
yeah. And he nonchalantly picks it up, and they go, "Oh, it's okay. Just put it back there."
And he actually gets to hand it to Nixon.
Yeah. I often think the people on the airplane must have been thinking, is that Elvis? No, it's a look-alike. No, I'm sure that's Elvis. No, that's impersonator.
yeah.
No, that's Elvis. No, Elvis wouldn't be flying commercial.
Hmm.
I'm sure there were those kind of conversations on the airplane amongst other passengers.
Elvis had no qualms about just getting up and walking around saying, "Hey, I'm Elvis Presley." So he loved to mingle with the fans, and we see those pictures of him coming back from Hawaii, all tanned, ready for whatever for Vegas, and he's just sitting there, pictures of him standing there with the waitresses, chatting, and it's just that was Elvis.
Hmm.
Now he was no big recluse, like he wasn't no
But,
Howard Hughes.
He made
but
himself a recluse, though.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine how embarrassed he must have felt when he got to the front of the line, ready to book the ticket, only to realize he didn't have fucking money in his pocket?
Or a credit card or anything. Rick, we need to do a Zoom watch party with both Elvis and Nixon's. With both Elvis and Nixon's. Is there part of that? Give me
He,
a little more detail on that. Go ahead, Joe.
I think he's talking about that show that was put together, Elvis and
Oh,
Nixon.
Elvis and Nixon. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We should do that. We'll set that up. No, it's the first time I tried to be taken down. They don't scare me. Oh, I don't know. That was a separate conversation. All right. Um, I need to get my comments over here on the left screen because I can reverse. Who is GL chat, Shirley? Oh, they're talking. All right. So, anyways, that's what I love about this. They'll listen in and still have other conversations. Cool. All right. So, what do
It's like it's like we background noise. They're having their conversation while the radio is playing in the background.
yeah.
It's
So
good
from the
though.
accounts that we have, we certainly got a good idea about the specifics of the trip. So we're just going to go. Bud Crow, that was the guy's name. So you had the 2 or 3 days were in question. Joyce Bova comes into the picture somewhere along the line. Because then we got Sonny that shows up. Jerry is with Elvis when he gets there.
Mhm.
And he wrote Bud Crow's the one that wrote that book. I've got it on PDF. It's a really interesting book. And of course Nixon and Elvis. And you know what? Talk about two complete opposites of human beings. I mean, Nixon was just this boring ass. I would be surprised if he hardly knew much about Elvis in the first place, other than his daughter was a huge fan.
I think there's an interview that they put on YouTube where they actually talk to Bud Crow about the whole experience, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about a minute ago. There was it was like a panel, and it was
Mm,
Bud Crow, Jerry Schilling, and a couple others that were involved, and they discussed the whole thing for the whole hour, the whole
mm.
process of him coming. And it's quite funny. They come up with some, you know, just Elvis. What do you call it? Elvis tricks. Elvis.
Elvisms.
The Elvism. There you go.
Jeez, try say that with a few gummies in.
He's so simply the only people who should be speaking about it were those people. I have no idea what this chapter is going to bring to us, so I'm just going to really go through it because I don't want to be saying something that we're going to talk about earlier. So the following outlines the trip Elvis took, and I need to shrink that page because this is the only page that I scanned this. So the outlines the trip Elvis took to the White House. These are supposedly the facts. Elvis offered a $50,000 contribution to the anti-drug campaign during his meeting visit to the FBI building with Narcotics Bureau Deputy Director John Finletter. Elvis offered to donate $5,000 to the Federal Drug Enforcement Bureau. Can you imagine him calling Vernon and say, "Okay, I need you to write a $50,000 check here. I need you to write a 5,000."
People who don't need it. I mean, you're talking about government
Oh,
entities. They don't need this.
yeah, that's what that's what gets me is why do you contribute um, to a government funded process? Is it Rick? Is that you in the middle? You look amazing. Okay, okay, you guys got to quit. I'm going to get a complex here, which is too good. I put a link on Discord for that video, Rick. Okay, cool. All right, so Elvis went to Atlanta and called Jerry Schilling to bring him some clothes and money, and they went up to see the president. This is perhaps the only claim of Elvis going to Atlanta. I've never heard of that. I never heard that in any of the stories that he came to Atlanta.
Mm-mm.
Now, according to here's a reputable source, David Stanley in the Elvis
Oh,
Encyclopedia,
yeah.
Elvis's trip to Washington D.C. went like this: Elvis bought a ticket at the Memphis airport under the name of John Burroughs. Well, we know that, and he boarded a commercial airline to Washington D.C.
Hmm.
Elvis arrived in Washington and checked into the Washington Hotel. Elvis returned immediately to the airport and boarded the next plane to Los Angeles. Elvis arrived in L.A. early in the morning, grabbed Jerry Schilling and Sonny West, and headed back to the airport. Sonny West was in Memphis, according to most sources. Elvis, now traveling as John Carpenter, boarded a plane with Schilling and Senator George Murphy. Stanley has just eliminated West from this leg of the trip, contradicting his price his statement. Okay, I think that was the only page that I. This isn't the process. That's not the whole itinerary that I remember. But let's just keep going. Elvis arrives in D.C. at 6:30 in the morning on the 21st. Rented a limousine and delivered his handwritten letter to the guard. He wrote that on hotel stationery, didn't he?
No, his letter to the president, he wrote that on American Airlines stationery.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, he wrote it while they were on the plane.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Elvis returned to the hotel with Schilling and West. Then Elvis visited John Finlatter, who refused to give Elvis a badge. Elvis returned to the hotel with Schilling. Sonny West, fresh from Memphis, was waiting at the hotel. And then, of course, Stanley had just told us that Elvis picked up Sonny West in L.A. So, like I said, reputable source there with Stanley. The White
Hmm.
House called. Elvis met with Nixon and was sworn in. Well, he just gives basic.
Yeah.
This is no story. This is just highlights. Elvis boarded plane. Elvis came back. Elvis picked up. Elvis, it looks like a schedule you'd hand to him. This is your itinerary for the day.
Yeah.
It's David Stanley. I don't take
He
it.
was, I'm sorry, and he was sworn in for what? That
Yeah.
bad? The
Yeah.
badge?
Yeah.
It's not real.
No.
Huh.
Yeah. It was just all um,
Was
commemorative.
it?
or
was it not a real badge? Because I
Uh,
heard stories that it was actually written up that
no,
it's a legit badge.
there's papers upon papers upon papers saying that it was an honorary. I've
Oh,
fought with people over this for years, years. There's
okay.
papers saying it in the White House that we could give him an honorary badge, blah, 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 blah. And I don't think Elvis even knew or cared, but he certainly played it as if it was real.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Not real.
Yeah, I tell you what, if I'd been able to get that far and the president gave me something, I would accept it. Okay, where the hell did that download that to? He did.
Well, we know for a fact that Elvis took some very real souvenirs out the president's drawer.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here's the letter. Not gonna do it, is it? Yeah, there it goes. Obviously, we're not gonna be able to read it, but his handwriting's not. But yeah, Airlines.
Hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 page letter. Wow,
Jeez.
pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he did. He had very nice handwriting.
But I've seen other things he's written that the handwriting wasn't too bad at all. It's fairly neat. I thought he had an eloquent signature on most
Yeah.
times. Not
Yes.
eloquent, but very well handwriting in.
And you see the formations of his letters in the letter. Like if you look at the way he writes,
Mm,
certain letters they have like a flame shape.
mm.
Can you see some of them? They have like a flame shape. Let me see if I can find one quickly. Uh, like his R's, the way he writes his R's. Uh,
I like the way he squeezes as much as he can into one page.
page, yeah.
And the fact that he numbered all the pages. That just goes to show you how analytical he was.
Oh, you see, and like how he writes the number five. You know that handwriting analysts say that if a person has that kind of handwriting, that's actually proof that they are very creative people.
Notice too, pages 1, 2, and 3, he circles the numbers, but he doesn't circle on 4 and 5.
On five, yeah.
That's it's just interesting, and that tells me he wrote it on a plane.
Hmm.
On a plane, you're not you get the vibration, you get all that, and that doesn't help any either. But that's the letter.
I'm trying to find something for you on the web.
Okay, yeah, just let us know when you
Yeah, I'm just trying to find something, guys.
So, however, some of the following details are not in agreement with Stanley's scenario. You don't think.
Yeah.
Elvis did not fly directly to Washington. I knew that. He
Hmm.
flew first to. You know what? If I'd really thought about it, I should have. I should have. We should set up another viewing of that. I could do it on YouTube because I've done it on YouTube before. Or I'll send you the link to my. It'd be interesting to have a chat about it. I'll figure that out. Let's forget about it. We got other things to worry about. We got Elvis headed to Nixon.
Oh, you're talking about the Bud Crow thing?
Yeah, that panel where they talk about the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's just it's like an hour and a half long and it goes like that.
Hmm.
It was really good, and it was held and Washington. I can't remember. I don't know if it was in some annex of the White House or off their museum or. So he doesn't fly there first. He flew to L.A. first, where he had Schilling bring him some money. Didn't he give that money away right away too?
Yes. Yeah, when they were flying to Washington, he gave that money to the soldier.
So in this statement, Lacker implies that Elvis met only Jerry Schilling, not Sonny West, in L.A., which is supposedly correct, and that's how Jerry tells it in his book. And however, Lacker states that Elvis flew to Los Angeles before going to Washington D.C., which by nearly all accounts is not accurate. Lacker writes that when Elvis reached Sonny West by phone at Graceland on December 19th, Elvis was already in Washington with Jerry Schilling. By most other accounts, Schilling accompanied Elvis to Washington 2 days later. I didn't think of it being a 3-day process.
No. Oh, yes, Charlie, you're right. Now that Charlie mentions is right. It was in the National Archive building.
Yeah, it was on C-SPAN at the time. Yeah, it's a great. We'll have to set it up and watch it. We'll do a watch one day, and we'll just do it here on the YouTube, so we can all have a chat. Elvis flew to Washington D.C. with Jerry Schilling and Sonny West. This is incorrect. Most accounts state that Schilling flew with Elvis from California, and then West arrived in D.C. later. That's how I know it. However, Elvis mentions West by name in the letter to Nixon.
I found something here just quick, and I'm
Yeah, yeah.
but what I found here is since Elvis was given a Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs credential as a kind of honorary gesture.
Okay.
That was the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't, I swear to God, the amount of people that I fought with over that, you would not believe. Because you know, one thing that does, it messes with the Elvis Alive thing.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it really puts a little crutch in there. Okay, keep going. And for those who've come here to listen to me, I'm sorry that I'm doing something else. And do it. I'm so sorry.
This is a free for all, man. We talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah, there you go.
You
Free for
know,
all. Free for all.
all right, so let me get my mouse back over in the right spot. So we read that part. Now, based on these confusing accounts, the question of Sonny West's arrival is somewhat problematic because West supposedly arrived at D.C. on Monday morning, the 21st. However, Elvis mentions in a letter to Nixon that Sonny West was one of the men who accompanied him to Washington. Yeah, but you know what? Saying he accompanied him to Washington, does that mean he had to make the whole trip at the same time with him, or he just I don't know. I could take that as
It's either or. I mean, it is Elvis we're talking about here, so it could have happened either way.
hmm.
What a cool looking gun.
um.
Let's see if I
So it says though Elvis was writing the letter on the plane en route to Washington from Los Angeles, he writes in the present tense as if he's already in Washington. Oh, that's an interesting. I never thought about that. This letter was written early Monday morning, hours before West supposedly met up with Elvis and Jerry Schilling at the hotel. The pertinent passengers are I'm staying at the Washington Hotel room, 5067, 7, and 8. I have two men who work with me by the name of Jerry Schilling and Sonny West. I'm registered under the name of John Burroughs. I will be there for as long as it takes to get the credentials. In other words, I'm here until I get my freaking badge.
Yeah.
There will be no tours. There will be no concerts. I want my freaking badge.
I love the way he puts it. I will be here for as long as it takes to get the credentials of a federal agent. In other words, I don't think don't you guys don't think you're gonna get away with this. I'm gonna stick my ass right here and I'm gonna wait for you.
Elvis wrote the letter as if he were already in Washington. This indicates he had not checked out of the hotel on Saturday evening for at least that he had been there before going to L.A., contradicting lackey lackers and suggested that Elvis flew directly to L.A. from Memphis. So, yeah, once again, it's such a simple story, and how many can get so many the stories different, you know? And can you imagine as that group of guys who are always the one clamoring for the attention or being the first or being part of this, and then when they're not invited to go, they're left out. And now you're going to hear all kinds of, you know, their sides of the story. And
Yeah, I'm sure, if he was able to join conversations nowadays, he would probably think, geez, I just got on an airplane, I flew to Washington, and I went shopping in the Oval Office. What's the big deal?
yeah, where does Bova? I can't. Why can't say her name? Joyce
Well,
Bova fit into the story. Well, I think hopefully we get to that because I just heard little clips that he visited Bova and all that while he was there, and I don't think I've ever come to a conclusion whether I believe that or not, or I understand that as being fact. I should say. Elvis and Jerry Schilling arrived in Washington, stopped at the White House gate to deliver the letter, and then went to the hotel. That's from Marty. He hand wrote a letter to Nixon, which was delivered by Senator George Murphy.
Hmm.
Every other account states that Elvis hand delivered the letter to the guard at the White House gate. Senator Murphy was on the plane with Elvis. I can't imagine Elvis handing it to a senator thinking, okay, you're going to get this letter to where it needs to go.
No,
And, you know,
I tend to believe the God story. The God then gave it to the senator.
so Kathleen's got our nicknames Shake, Rattle, and Roll. I don't, I don't know if I want to say, I don't want to ask who's
Rattle.
shake, who's rattle, and who's roll.
Yeah, I don't want to ask that either.
What do
Hey,
you, what's that, Joe?
I sent you a nice picture in your email on just to show the gun. That's all.
Oh, okay, cool. Let me pull that up right quick. Um, shit. Oh, cool. All right. Ooh, that is a good picture. All right, loading it down.
Of course, because Joe sent it to you. God awful. I mean, Rattle sent it to you. I mean, come on now, Rattle.
Rattle sent it to me. Damn.
Nice drink of water, deep breath.
I know it's just like lately. Okay, I'm gonna load this up for when we need to see it because that's gonna be cool. All right, so Elvis and Jerry Schilling called Sonny West from the hotel, and West then flew to Washington. That's how I understand it,
Yeah.
and that's how I think they told it. That's why it'd be good for us to watch that after this. Elvis left Schilling at the hotel when he went to see Finlander. Joe S. Oh, here comes Joe. Joe Esposito writes that Elvis bought a plane ticket to L.A. and at 3 o'clock that morning and called Jerry Schilling from Dallas, where Elvis was changing planes. This is an account as long as Esposito's account is not implying that Elvis headed straight to L.A. from Memphis. Joe's stories sometimes I have to take with
Fuck. With the tunnel, so Joe wasn't even there.
yeah. Elvis arrived in LA at 4 a.m. and went to his house on Hillcrest Drive. When he arrived there, it was almost daybreak Sunday morning. Esposito writes that Elvis and Schilling slept for several hours but did not board the plane headed for Washington until Sunday evening. Esposito does not comment on what Elvis and Jerry may have done for the rest of the day. That's because he wasn't freaking there.
Hmm.
All right,
And
guys.
I think Jerry said in that sit down with Bud Crow, he said Elvis went to lay down, but he didn't. He went out. He was playing. I think he said he went out on the tennis court for a while and he watched TV. He said Elvis went to go lay down for a while.
Who cares?
I know exactly.
I'm sitting here going, how do I get into this conversation? Why? Because it's so stupid.
That's
Who
what we. That's
cares?
what we got to name this. Instead of doing book watch on Wednesdays, it'll be the Who Cares show.
God,
Because at the end of the show, we're going to say, "Who freaking cares?"
Elvis and Jerry went to sleep. No, it was just Jerry that went to sleep. I thought, what the frig, people?
Yeah, what does it matter? The
Yeah,
crux of the story is he fucking landed up in the Oval
right.
Office.
Exactly.
It could be argued that Elvis waited a day to return to Washington because the people he wished to see may not have been available until Monday. What are you laughing about, Joe? Somebody say something?
No, we were just talking about this a second ago about this insignificant detail, and then you go into the very next paragraph and said it could be argued that blah blah blah, and I'm thinking, yeah, here we go again.
Yeah, yeah.
What color were the pajamas?
That's another good title. What color are the pajamas? However, we cannot be sure what exactly Elvis planned on doing in Washington since his letter to Nixon was written on the flight. Okay, we've covered all that.
That would be nice on a promo for you. What color is the? I was going to say bananas. What color is the pajamas?
That's it. We got
What? You don't like it? What?
no. This is some good merch.
Yeah. What color are the
What color are
pajamas?
the pajamas?
Yeah.
What color
Who
would have
who
been?
freaking cares?
Mm.
Wow, we got all kinds of shit. We
What
Persuasive Youth asks, "What color are the pajamas?"
what color were the bananas? Yellow?
Yeah. No, actually, they're green before they're ripe.
True.
There you go.
So Joyce Bova writes that Elvis told her that it was on the plane coming back with Schilling that I got the idea about Nixon. Additionally, Elvis waiting the extra day for the reason stated above is not in accordance with the fact that he allegedly left for Washington on a Saturday. So here we got Joyce Bova putting in her 2 cents worth.
I'm already confused.
I am too. Um, Joyce Bova maintains that Elvis came to Washington to see her, which is reasonable considering he flew to Washington on a Saturday and probably without the idea of meeting with Nixon.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, we all know Elvis was spare of the moment. So
pajama bowl.
maybe the idea to go see Nixon came from a conversation the two of them had. Maybe
Yeah,
sparked something they spoke about, and he must have thought about after, well, I'm here. I might as well try.
so I caught that set, and that's why I went back. Go ahead, Cam. She was talking
No,
about me scrolling past this rolling part, and I went back. So yeah,
yeah,
go ahead, Cam. Finish. I'm sorry.
there's that's also a possibility. Maybe they had a conversation. Elvis thought something along the lines of, "Well, I am in Washington. I may as well go and see if I can if I can make it happen."
Richie boy. I was on a quiz the other week, and the question was, what book was Elvis holding coming off of a plane in 1974? You know what that tells us? That tells us. Okay, okay. Why is that? Oh, I'm doing the wrong. That's great. Did you hear that, Joe?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so Richie Boy's comment is, I was on a quiz the other day, a week, and the question was, what book was Elvis holding coming off of a plane in 1974?
Are you serious?
In other words, who cares? What color was it?
What color are the pajama bottoms?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, you're right. So let's finish with um, let's finish with Miss Bova. So Miss Bova's statement is worth a closer look. One of the main questions in this whole situation is why Elvis flew to D.C. on a Saturday evening. There is no obvious reason. He did not fly to Washington to see Nixon, as he supposedly had not even concocted the notion by that time. Not nor had he written the letter. That said, Miss Bova's statement that Elvis went to Washington to see her is perfectly reasonable.
Yes.
And yeah, I could see that, and Elvis, his mind was always wheeling, and he's thinking, "Wait a minute, I'm going to Washington D.C."
Hmm.
It's a long frickin' flight where he went too.
And maybe he did it as a gesture of defiance because let's bring into the mix here. We all know that he was in the midst of a row with Priscilla and his father because they were trying to tell him how to spend his money. So
Yeah,
he
he,
might
yeah,
he might have thought, well, okay, you want to see me do what the hell I want to do? I'm gonna fly to Washington and go see my squeeze.
yeah, yeah, and too, there was that one place where he loved those donuts.
Hmm.
He would go by there, pull up, and yeah, yeah, you're right. But I think there was more than a donut that he was going there for.
A cream pie.
You said it, Gab, not me. So the further we might ask, why did Elvis immediately fly? Did I already read that?
Cherry pie. What? I was
Okay,
saying,
he flew immediately to L.A. from Washington without seeing Miss Bobo. The answer is ostensibly, that didn't come out right, to pick up Jerry Schilling, but that doesn't make sense. Elvis could have simply called Schilling and asked him to fly to D.C. Elvis needed Schilling to bring him money.
Yeah, Elvis needed a few shillings, so he called Shilling to bring him a few shillings.
Yeah. And all this time, he's telling Jerry not to tell anybody. So he's
Uh-huh.
out and about by himself, no security, flying around the United States without a care in the world. And
Yeah.
it goes to show you he didn't need the guys. I mean, think about it. He went from Memphis, probably not the most safest city in the world, to L.A., which is not the safest city in the world, to Dallas, which was not the safest city in the world, to D.C., and basically all by himself.
And then to add insult to injury, he rocks up in LA in one of the shadiest parts of town to go buy donuts, all
Yeah.
by. But then again, let's be honest, he must have had a fucking ball. He must have thought, geez, I haven't done this in over 20 years. He must have had so much fucking fun
Yeah.
just doing regular shit like a regular guy.
well, I don't know what the danger would be. It's not like he'd be noticed.
Just walking around with,
No.
I mean, really.
hey, honey, I took this flight today to L.A., and there was this dude on there. He was wearing a fur coat, he had a cane, and he was wearing sunglasses in the plane.
He looked like Elvis.
The guy would you would think the guy thought he was Elvis or something, man. Jeez.
Could you imagine being there when Shirley went, "You're where?"
Who's with you? Nobody. I'm by myself. I need money. Hurry.
I would have liked. I would have liked to have been anybody that saw him. You know,
Yeah.
it must have been just a. Is he? Is he not? Is he? I think he is. No, I don't think so," said the husband. The wife said, "Oh no." Yeah.
And I'm thinking about this too. This is 1970. And I'm thinking, I never read in any book or anything where Priscilla ever makes a mention of her concern where he was at.
Yeah.
No.
Not one concern. Well, because I think we know where she was at. She was
Mhm.
under a rock or a stone somewhere.
Pardon the pun.
Oh, yeah, pardon the pun. Or on top of a stone. I don't know.
He was under the hard one.
You
Yeah.
never know what floats your boat. A little cowboy there. So
She was
I
practicing
digress.
karate. That's what.
I'm getting off track here, guys. Sorry. I'm having too much fun with this one. All right, so where are we at? Also, it does not seem likely that Elvis would want pocket money. He couldn't just walk into a convenience store and buy a pack of gum or go to a restaurant and order dinner. So why the trip to L.A. to get Schilling? Miss Bova states that Elvis flew to L.A. because he couldn't locate her and didn't know how to locate her, and so he flies to L.A. to get directions, and that he needed Schilling to help.
You use a telephone book. I'll tell you where she lives.
Yeah.
A- And I mean, was he flying on IOUs? He didn't have money with him. So what the fuck? How was he buying these plane tickets?
You know what gets me, and that's just as with Elvis, but how these people who are freaking loaded with money say, "Oh no, they're going to arrest." No, you don't have to pay, sir. You're just honored to have you here. The guy who could pay for everybody's dinner in that whole freaking restaurant gets a free one because
Yeah.
of who he is. And Elvis wouldn't. I don't think Elvis would have ever done that. He would have said,
Mhm.
"No, I'm not." I could afford to buy it myself.
Does anybody know? How was he buying the plane tickets?
I've never.
On IOUs?
No, he bought the ticket with his American Express.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
He
yeah.
needed
That's right.
pocket money, is what he was looking for.
Yes, he had his card holder. Yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
remember. He had his
But he
American
was wanting
Express.
pocket money, which he gave away pretty quick. I think we'll get to him. So, why the trip to L.A. to get Shitley? Miss Bova states that Elvis flew in L.A. because he couldn't locate her. This seems perfectly reasonable and believable as well, given that Elvis was very isolated and probably didn't know how to move around by himself in a strange city.
No, I
I don't know. I
disagree.
don't know how to accept that.
No, I disagree with that.
I mean, he had no problems driving down, walking to the airport, walking on a commercial plane by himself, and you're going to tell me he doesn't know how to walk around a city or find a phone number or anything like that? It's
No.
Do you
You
think?
did.
now you're insulting his intelligence.
Exactly.
Do you think he was trying to prove something to the other guys?
I've thought that before, Joe.
I really maybe don't need you. I could do this by myself.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I've thought about that once before, a couple times before, but I never really dealt more on it. But yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be the perfect thing? Hey, listen, guys, I don't need all of you. In fact, I only need one of you.
Yeah,
I mean,
you guys are just here because I'm helping you guys. It's not
yeah,
like you guys are here because necessity facilitates it. I can get around by myself.
But what works against that really is he goes there, he calls Schilling, but he had to call Schilling because he had no money.
Hmm.
yeah, and yeah, and then here's the other thing. Richie Boy's got a point. Who wouldn't help Elvis if you called and ask him a question?
Exactly.
You went to the hotel's front desk. Hey, listen, I'm trying to find this. Can you help me? Give me directions. Give me a cab or
Hmm.
whatever.
Hmm.
Or drive it, get him a rental car, and go, which is what he did, didn't he? But it's so absurd to sit there and make a remark like that. I think she's way out of whack.
Yeah, no, it's like I said earlier. I think he just did it because he just, besides the fact that he was pissed off by being told what to do, I seriously think he did it as an act of defiance.
Yep.
Oh
To
yeah,
say,
Yeah.
well, okay, fuck you guys. You constantly telling me what the hell to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck off now. I'm not gonna tell any one of y'all where I'm going. I don't need you guys. I can move from point A to point B without you guys. And he proved his point.
yeah.
Well, look at this too. How quickly did they know that Elvis wasn't there?
Well,
Yeah,
so what he did this what at like 3 in the morning? They said.
yeah.
So somebody at the front gate would have had to say, "Well, Elvis left here in a car by himself. We don't know where he went." I mean,
Hmm.
at what point in time does the security guard, whoever it was, whether it was Vester or whoever was at the gate at the time, would have, I would assume that he probably asked, where you headed, Elvis? Yeah, going out for, drive or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he may have done that. But, the fact that he went out alone, I think would have been a signal to the guy, hey, Elvis is going out alone.
Well,
Nobody.
somebody's going to be up because it's 3 o'clock. So it's
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's his hour.
it's
Yeah.
his
It's
daytime.
hours. Yeah.
There was always somebody there, because there had to be. That was their job. So was there
Yeah,
no?
I kind of take back too what I said about him going out alone because he did that on the track a lot too in the motorcycle.
Mm.
So, but yeah, you're right, Joe. Funny. Okay, so based on most reasonable and probable accounts of the events of that day of the 19th through the 21st, Elvis left for Memphis or Washington late Saturday. Arrived in Washington, checked into the Hotel Washington, then promptly returned to the airport where he boarded a flight for L.A. So he
Hmm.
still had the hotel, right? The reason
Yeah.
for this trip to the West Coast was to get money and to pick up Jerry Schilling. He arrived in LA early Sunday morning, visited with a doctor about a rash, then went to his Hillcrest drive home to sleep. Left late Sunday, and arrived back in Washington early Monday morning. Delivered the letter for Nixon at the Northwest Gate around 6:30 a.m. Returned to the Hotel Washington. He visited the Bureau. I think this is just overall summation. Visited the Bureau of Narcotics to meet with John Ingersoll, who was the predecessor of the DEA. BNDD was the predecessor and was not the FBI. Since
Hmm.
Ingersoll was not in, Elvis met with Deputy Director John Finletter.
Hmm.
Then he met with Nixon early that afternoon, briefly visited FBI headquarters, returned to Memphis the following day, Tuesday, December 22nd.
Hmm.
So his conclusion is, I believe that Elvis impulsively went to Washington, D.C. to see Joyce Bova, didn't know how to move around in a strange city, and then took a flight to California to get Jerry Schilling. Elvis wanted to return to Washington, and on the flight back to the East Coast, he came up with the idea about meeting with Nixon. However, only Elvis knows the true meaning behind the strange incident. I don't think it's a strange incident. I just think it's a
No.
unique. It's Elvis, but I still disagree with. Well, it may be a legitimate way to say it. He didn't know how to move around in a strange city. Well, we all do that. We go to a strange city. We're not familiar with it. Do I get around by subway? Do I get around by cab? Do I get around by renting a car?
Mhm.
How do I get around? So I can accept that explanation in that aspect. I can't accept that he didn't know how to go about getting that.
No.
And he probably just said, "Heck, I'll just go fly back to California and get Jerry. He'll help me."
And you know the other strange thing also that sticks its nose out for me? Of all the people he could have called, he calls Jerry and Sonny.
That's just in that aspect. At that period of time, I think Jerry was the most. I
Yeah.
think he felt probably the closest, most trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry Schilling was a kid when he connected it with Elvis, even
Mm,
though he didn't really spend time with him until after. What was it? He really didn't start working for him until Elvis got back from the army, right?
mhm.
So, because Jerry was what 15 when he met him, 13, 14, 15, and that was in 54. So he was not even 20 when Elvis came back from the army.
Can you imagine
No.
the conversation back at Graceland though? Of Vernon going, "Where's my son? There's nobody with him. What the fuck? Can you
What
just?"
a- what am I paying you guys for?
Yep, yep. Or Jesus, when Vernon finds out that we don't know where the hell Elvis went, oh my God, the Colonel just called. Can you just imagine the shit that was happening at Graceland?
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? That's 10 to 1. Knowing Elvis and his nature, that's why he did it.
You know
To
what would have been a good practical joke? For
uh-huh.
Elvis to have sent somebody to go hand deliver a letter, making it look like a ransom letter.
Oh Jesus!
Can you,
You see it on the news like
I
that.
mean, as much of a practical joker as he was, he'd be sitting in his hotel room and watching and laughing his fucking ass. And then all of a sudden he turns on the TV and says, Elvis kidnapped, ransom letter sent to family.
Or if he'd gone straight to the Colonel's house in LA and go and said, "Hey, Colonel."
Yeah.
Jesus, I think, yeah, no. But he must have had a blast, though.
Yeah. All right. So the next chapter, there's only two more chapters here. They're pretty much short. This is about Dr. Nick after 1977.
Hmm.
Um, so at the end of the day, I am going to schedule a time for us to watch and react to that, and I think it'd be cool to do it in this format, not on a Zoom. We play it, we pause, and we talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
it as it goes. And everybody can chat and talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Kim has come up with a good one. Remember, she said he called a cab that one time in California and he didn't know how to open the gate to get out.
Yes.
That's terrible. I mean, really, don't you think so? I mean, this
Yeah.
man, if you can get, I remember there was an auction. This is Elvis's personal set of keys to Graceland. Elvis
Hmm.
never carried any freaking keys. I mean,
No.
well,
Well,
the guy said, and he said, plus, Graceland door was always open.
Hmm.
yeah, he probably didn't have the remote control, and there was maybe nobody at the gate. He probably thought, "How's the gate? I'm going to get this gate open."
Fuck, can you
And he couldn't
imagine?
call anybody from the cab because they didn't have cell phones.
Thinking about it now, he must have felt like a right asshole. I mean, he lives in this major fucking huge house. He's called a cab to go somewhere and he can't get the fuck out of his own property.
Talk about being in prison, huh?
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shame.
I,
Yeah.
how
Right?
did Delbert know Elvis' entire convo with the cab company and his actions when he wasn't even? Yeah, yeah. I like it when these people think that some of these guys can relate stories or conversations that happened when they weren't even anywhere near.
Yeah.
And you talk about hearsay. That's hearsay, 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 hearsay. It's like what that Chinese telephone call. What do they call it when you tell
Yeah.
somebody and 10 people down the line it's totally different?
Hmm.
Can I ask you something? The next chapter is Doctor Apocalypse after 1977. Do we really have to do this?
No,
Oh,
I was just gonna highlight a couple of things that we're just gonna roll right on down to the next part. We know pretty much the history of Doctor Nick, and
Mm.
so I was just gonna go to the end of the conclusions of um, what he had to say here because we know he went to court. He didn't wind up um, going to jail or anything, but he did lose his license, and
Did he never get his license to practice back?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. I don't think he wanted it.
Yeah, I think he was done with all that life. You know,
Sorry, but I'm eating my supper,
no, that's fine.
trying to hide it, and I'm doing a very bad job at it.
Hey, listen, we're all family. I'm going to put out a big old leg of turkey here in a second.
I'll say, like you take a shower, you're with me. Is that what it is?
No, do it. I mean, I have to do it every once in a while if I forget to eat after I take my meds. Uh,
Exactly what's happening.
yeah, see, that's what I forget about. It's like anyway. So, you know, he went to court, lost his license, and I don't know. He did his book, and I think he did several interviews. I forget what year he passed.
Just so people remember, he wasn't over. He wasn't giving a lot of medication to just Elvis. He was doing Jerry Lee.
No.
Lee, Johnny Cash, he did that whole group of people, and probably a lot of the Memphis Mafia there too.
Yeah.
And his own daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
He should have never. He should have lost his
Yeah.
license long before. But yeah,
He was giving drugs
supposedly,
to his own daughter.
Yeah,
supposedly.
he got nailed for over prescribing to his own daughter also.
Wow.
Now his son, I think, has got some pages out there, but I've never looked at him at all.
What was his son's name again? He worked for Elvis also. Oh,
Dean?
yes, Dean.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Nick's. Oh,
Never
I
got.
didn't know that. Dr. Nick's defense attorney was Dan Warlick, the former medical examiner investigator.
Oh,
Nicopolis' subsequent request to get his license back was rejected. Since that time, he's worked with Jerry Lee Lewis and has toured with the Memories of Elvis exhibit that featured among memorabilia Elvis prescription bottles. You know, I don't know if I would go out on tour, you know, sharing the things that got me to lose my license.
yeah.
You're on tour, yeah, and then you're showing prescription bottles. And that to me, is, you know, that just shows me a lack of contrition in some form. I think most of the time, hey, Amy, welcome aboard. We're about to get into a part of this book. We're at the end of the book, and we're gonna get into a part that you did a video on recently. So,
Truth be told, for many years, I made Dr. Nick out to be the hugest fucking villain. But knowing now what I know about him, I think history has really given him a bad rap.
yeah,
He never got the opportunity to redeem himself and to put his name back in good stead, unfortunately.
yeah, I don't. Dr. Nick didn't seem to me to be a real assertive type of person.
No.
So I think he got overridden by the stories with everybody else, and he was just kind of pushed aside. He was blamed and accusations made against him. A lot of them warranted and true, and some of them not. But that happened with every one of them.
He
But
was
you know, they all in one form or fashion harmed Elvis.
he was
Mhm.
stuck between a rock and a hard place. Who the hell's gonna believe him? Who's gonna believe that he tried to give him less, but Elvis wanted the more? And
Mhm.
how do you, like everybody else said, how do you say no to Elvis Presley? Because then you're worried about, okay, they'll get rid of me as a doctor, go to somebody else who's going to maybe even give more than I give. You
Yeah,
Yeah.
know, no, we really don't know the popular story. I mean, I got his book, and you know,
I haven't read it in years. I got to read it again. It'll be
And,
another discussion. But
and it's very possible that he eventually got to the point where, like a dog that's been beat too much, he just lay down and thought,
yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah.
Nobody's believed me up to this point. No matter what I say, I'm always going to be the villain, so just
No, you're right.
step out and silently disappear.
Yeah. All right. So, chapter 21, and basically the last chapter is the infamous cough syrup incident. So, did Elvis provide cough syrup to a woman who then overdosed on the medication? And like I said, on the Presley files, Amy did a nice video regarding this. I believe I'm talking about the same subject. And so you'll have to check it out. I think I'll put her link up to in the description. That's actually the link to her channel is in my description. So the infamous cough syrup incident has been described in generally the same fashion in most available accounts. However, a woman who claims to have been present, whom I will call Cindy, says that the events described by Sonny West and James Coughlin and Marty Lacker, who admittedly heard the story from West, are inaccurate and some details simply untrue. First, let's take a look at the various accounts from several Elvis books. From what happened in the spring of '71 during the Lake Tahoe engagement at the Sahara Club Casino, Elvis spent time with a young girl, Jane Robertson, and excuse me, I started almost sneezed there, and started giving her a couple of pills here and there to give her a lift. According to page 345 of the Ultimate Elvis, this incident took place at Graceland in '71. Every other account indicates this event occurred in Palm Springs after one of Elvis's shows in Lake Tahoe. In the Revelations from the Memphis Mafia, page 607, Marty Lacker claims that Elvis' first engagement at the Sahara Hotel was July '71 and implies the cough syrup incident occurred during or after these shows, which would have been the earliest the event could have happened. And as noted above in Elvis What Happened, places the Lake Tahoe shows at a different location and during a different time of year. We're gonna. If I'll repeat again, we are starting this Friday at 3 o'clock to be discussing Elvis What Happened. So we're going to be covering a lot of these events. This chapter is only highlighting some things, and we'll be done. So there's only a couple pages left. So here's the story, and then we'll get more discussion as we go. On the night in question at his Palm Springs home, Elvis had taken his usual dose of pills during the day. Elvis produced a bottle of prescription, I can't read, Hygodan?
It's
Hycodan?
hold on a minute. Hi.
Um,
Yeah.
oh,
It's the same
oh,
thing, isn't it?
okay, cough syrup for severe coughing and congestion. I'm terrible. These freaking. That night, Jane took a swig, more giggles. Toward 4 a.m., the two of them were nodding off, giggling, stumbling, and slurring their words in happy unison. Then they went to bed. The swinging of the Hycoden continued. The two of them could be heard giggling and laughing inside the master bedroom. He goes, "Whoop, whoop."
I was just laughing when you read what the cough syrup was for. When you read about coughing and congestion, that story of JD came to mind.
I, I, I gotta share that story with Joe after we're
With
done.
Joe, yeah.
Okay, Sonny West checked on Elvis and found Elvis and Jane on the bed. Elvis was taking long, deep breaths about 4 seconds apart. Jane's eyes were like glass marbles and were staring straight ahead. Um, she wasn't breathing properly. After being awakened, Elvis was staggering around like a drunken sailor. I hate it when put, but this is all in Elvis what happened, right?
That's enough. Shh. That's it. Stop.
Elvis said that Jane had been drinking the Vicodin like water. Sonny West said it was Elvis's bottle of drugs. From Albert Goldman's, oh, here we go. Here's the reliable source we've been waiting for.
Hmm.
So, from Albert Goldman's Book of Butchery, Sonny West alerted Charlie Hodge and James Coughley. The three men decided the other girls in the house should not know about the incident. That's on page 625. From the book Death of Elvis, according to Coughley, Elvis and Jane were swigging cough syrup from champagne glasses.
That sounds more like it.
Other girls in the house who had come there as dates of other entourage members were sworn to secrecy. From the revelations of the Memphis Mafia, Marty Lacker claims that Elvis and Jane were drinking the cough syrup from champagne glasses. Lacker admits he was not present during the incident and that his account comes from Sonny West. In con-
Doesn't, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry,
Yeah, yeah, go, no, go, Joe.
doesn't that have to say a little bit for Lacker? Lacker could have lied like a bunch of other they do for other stories. They come up with bullshit. Now here's
Mhm.
Lacker a couple times in this book that we heard. Lacker said this that I wasn't there, blah 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 blah, blah. And or like this, I only know this because of Sonny West. I still think that Marty Lacker might be one of the more honest out of all of them. Remember when we did the interview? We all thought maybe he was the most honest, and he
Yeah.
totally given as much information that he had, and
Yeah, I agree with what you said about how Marty Lacker would always come back and say, "But I wasn't there. That's what I heard or was told." And it wasn't that he said it as if he was there, though he didn't say he was there. But it irritates me when somebody relays a story and gives you the impression they were there to witness it.
yeah. Now,
Yeah.
Melissa
That,
says, "I'm sorry." Melissa says, "Lacker speaks on a lot of things he wasn't there for."
yeah.
Yeah, rather than just say I wasn't there, I'm not going to comment.
Now, see, Kim actually agrees with that.
Yeah.
Joe agrees with me.
So, in contrast to the accounts listed above, Cindy, the woman who claims to have been present during the incident, makes the following assertions. And I think he's, what's his name? Lacey is given anonymous names here, isn't he?
Hmm.
This Jane was the only person taking the cough syrup. This claim is in conflict with the other account. Those present and not present, but with secondhand knowledge, have stated that Jane and Elvis were both taking the cough syrup. Jane pulled the cough syrup from her bag, and it was her prescription. This is in conflict with every other account. The story goes that Elvis provided the cough syrup. Cindy says that Elvis asked to see the bottle when Jane pulled it from her bag, indicating that he had not seen it before. Elvis suggested Jane lighten up on the dosage.
Do you think?
Yeah,
Right. Let's go up on the doses. Maybe they won't act so strange.
yeah. No champagne glasses were used for the consumption of Heikkinen. And this is from this which book? Revelations of the Memphis Mafia, I think. Sonny West did not mention champagne glasses in Elvis What Happened, yet Marty Lacker mentions glasses in Memphis Mafia. Lacker claims West told him the story. Coughley, whom Cindy claims was not present, also stated champagne glasses were being used. Let's catch up. According to Miller, those guys were high as hell, too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
Cindy admits not going into the bedroom, not knowing what went on in the bedroom. So the champagne glasses, if they were used, could not have been used in the bedroom. Cindy does not indicate that she entered the bedroom at any time.
People
This
hang
is
my hat.
this is just one of those round and round stories again.
Yeah,
You're never gonna know.
yeah. Um,
Oh, Joe, looking good in your hat. Oh my God, I was thinking if you received your cap, it looks awesome. And then we got a kissing for Joe.
you just made Joe's day.
Yes, you have. Why?
Yeah, yeah, you're right, Amy. It's like that's what we were saying earlier. It's just like the telephone game.
Hmm.
So let's sum up the book here to the conclusion because let's see. Additionally, if these other girls were dates for other entourage members present, we can reasonably assume that when there were ever other entourage members present, at this time we have it present Cindy, James Coughley. Who is James Coughley?
Hamburger James.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Sonny West, Charlie Hodge, Jane, Elvis, other girls, and the dates for these other girls. Cindy claims of only 7 people present is weakened unless the claims implications of West and Coughley are not true. The only way only 7 people were present is if Cindy is one of the other girls, and there was only one more girl. And if no other entourage members were present at this time, with only 7 people present. Sandy Miller's alive and well, and sometimes does interviews. You should ask her.
I did.
Yeah, yeah. We should play that one day. Um, Hamburger James. I remember the name now.
Yeah, yeah,
So
he was the one they bust on the plane. They bust out onto the plane because he'd stolen some rings and some
yeah,
very private Polaroids.
Yep.
got his
And
ass beat for stealing. Yeah, Amy just said
yeah,
it.
Elvis flashed his badge and they ran onto the plane and gave him orders. You have the right to remain silent and all that other shit.
So with only 7 people, we have Cindy, Sonny, Charlie, James, Jane, Elvis, and only one other girl who goes unnamed at this. The girl formerly known as we don't know who.
Mm.
The above list is an agreement with all accounts and claims, save for Cindy's assertion that Coughlin was not present. So the day after I compiled the above data, Cindy stated that the 7 people in the house were herself, Elvis, Sonny, Gigi Gamble,
Mhm.
Charlie Hodge, Jane, and Cindy's friend Joan. Compared to my list, we have replaced Coughlin with Gamble. Now, shortly afterwards, Jane gave an interview regarding the incident. This does not seem very likely. Jane was not feeling well. All right, here's the last part of the book. So finally, I got to shrink that down. I did a shitty job on this scan.
Can you imagine if those photos got out? Because they always said
Oh.
it was sexual photos.
Mhm.
Imagine if they had gotten out.
But he didn't work for Elvis very long after that.
Who's that?
Thank God.
Oh yeah,
Hamburger James.
Why do they call him Hamburger James?
I don't know. Maybe he was the hamburger go fetcher.
I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Gummy? Did you take a gummy when we were looking?
Yeah, you see him on tour. Richie, he was around then, but as Amy said, got kicked out for stealing. You see him? I'll have to check that out. All right, so finally, a member of Elvis' entourage informed me that Elvis, this is Peter Lacey speaking, Elvis gave Jane the cough syrup, not the other way around. Additionally, this source stated that he had spoken with Jane since this incident and as recently as 1996. I researched this topic way back in 97. Jane confirmed to this source that Elvis gave her the cough syrup. If this is true and such a claim is in agreement with nearly every other account, then Cindy's entire chain of events, Jane pulling the bottle from her purse, Elvis not offering Jane any of his own medication, Elvis asking to see the bottle as if it had never been seen before, could still have occurred, but must be viewed in a different context. Conclusion: the evidence suggests that Elvis gave the cough syrup to the girl and then they consumed it in the recreational manner. And the answer is only you can say.
Jeez, what? Jeez, what a shitty job. Imagine being employed for Elvis and the only job you do is run up and down to the burger joint whenever they want burgers.
Yet he was allowed at Graceland and all this stuff. What a job to have, huh?
Uh,
Yeah.
Come hang at Graceland.
Mm.
Amy says, well, funny because Paige said she couldn't remember.
Yep. It was nudie pics of Prissy. The problem is they say it was even more than just Prince and Priscilla. That's what
Mm.
it said.
It was nudie pics of Prissy.
Yep. So you will see Prissy's. Never.
No, I don't. You can leave it at that point. It's very hard to bleep out those moments that there's
I
already
didn't say it. It's up to
I
you.
know. I'm just giving you.
I didn't say it. Thank God. Whatever
No,
dirty minds people have.
I did in my mind, and now I have an image of Prissy in my mind for the rest of the day. Now
Oh, you guys are both wrong. They were Polaroid pictures of the wild beavers behind Graceland.
Love those beavers.
He's
I like the little animals. What the hell is wrong with you?
Good.
You got such a dirty
no,
mind.
did I say anything?
Oh, I should say so. Beavers.
All right, guys, I got something to share with you. I need to pull this back up so that I can share this with you. I I don't think I shared it earlier, did I? This is the gun
Yeah.
that
Sad.
Elvis
Okay.
gave to Nixon. Now
Yes.
I'm going to see if I can enlarge that to read. That was stupid, Rick.
Now, wasn't it something that Elvis already had and then gifted to him?
Yeah, he
Yes.
got it. It was because like when World War II, MacArthur's or something gun.
World War II
World War II
commemorative.
commemorative.
I can't see that for nothing.
That's all I can see is that. Here, I'll go over the picture itself. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of blurry. Anyway,
He still has it. It's in his
yeah,
museum.
Hmm.
something, huh? He walked Elvis of all people. Oh, look at Kathleen's got the name for all four of us now. Shake, rattle, roll, and thunder.
Who's Thunder? Oh, from Amy. Yeah.
Yeah, Amy's thunder.
I wish she was here. She really gives
Yeah,
it that.
she could join in these anytime she wants. She's
Mhm.
welcome to. I
Did you
should
ask
check
her?
her later.
Did you ask her?
I'll hit other shit. She's there now. If she wants to pop in, she's
Oh,
welcome to
pop
pop in. I don't know
in.
what she's got going. Um, yeah, because the conversations, I love the conversations. But yeah, Amy's welcome to pop in anytime she wants to pop in because it makes for great, especially since she's got some nice insight on some of this stuff. And
Well, thank God she wasn't just here. Beavers in the back of Graceland, that conversation,
yeah,
that wouldn't even have happened. We all would have been gentlemen.
Yeah.
Oh, we still would have said that.
We would have been well behaved.
No. Maybe you guys would have been. Not me.
no, well, that's what makes it interesting. We got you aboard. Well, you are early day Friday midnight show. Yes, that did not make a lick of sense.
Yeah,
Did
where
it?
are you going with
You brought. I know you bring a taste of our Friday night shows to our afternoon shows, and it's perfect.
Hmm.
Hi, I'm Lewis. I love you, Rick. Oh, that's funny.
just what stupid thing is he going to say
Well,
next?
I guess Richie Boy's history now. Ha ha ha. Bye, Charlie. I Rich let jagged their body. I let jet lagged their buddy. Oh, I
Which
know.
one's Amy on here? Is it Elvis girl Amy?
Yeah,
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, she's in there. Um, so what did you guys think about the book? We're done with the book. We start Lisa Marie's book next week. But you first, Cam. Tell me what you thought about the whole series we did in an hour or less.
won't take that long. He'll use 2 words.
Yeah, do something like, "It was great." We'll all fall over.
It sucked. Glad that it
I,
was done.
Go ahead,
I
Cam.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, come on. You got more important. You
Yeah,
feel
no,
more important.
I enjoyed it. It was good because um, it brought up some good discussion points, and it gave us the opportunity to really share opinions. And yeah, sometimes the opinions got a little bit heated, but that's when you have a good conversation. If somebody can have two opposing opinions about the same thing and still feel uh what's the word I'm looking for, still feel that their point is valid and they can constructively argue their point of view, it always makes good for debate.
Yeah. Um,
Well, you can prove it. They're still going to say they'll just turn it a little bit.
yeah.
It's still
No,
gonna,
I agree with you, Cam. The book to me was I learned a lot on it, and I realized too there was a lot of shit that we really shouldn't even care about. What
Mm.
we waste too much time talking about. We did that on a lot of subjects in this book, but somehow it had to kind of even it all out too to kind of get kind of an overall picture. What
But
what
what
about?
I like most about it is he states facts or he states opinion, and he at the end of each chapter he leaves it open, so he gives you the opportunity. He puts his information on the table and he says, okay, now you decide what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. What do
Yeah.
you think, Joe? I think it was. And you had the opportunity to interview Patrick.
I like the book. I like Patrick. I think the book is the same thing. He gives you this information, and like who's that guy? Oh, Shake.
Yeah,
Uh, it's up to you to decide. Here's the information. What do you think?
yeah,
Mhm.
You
yeah.
think?
And that's what I like about. I wish more people would do that kind of thing with the books like this. Dick Grove's book was,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
well, it's not a book we could ever do on this show because it would we would both pass the we would both all three of us would pass the centurion mark in our age by the time we got through.
Yeah, his book
Um,
is just, in my opinion, sorry, there might be people out there that like it, but my opinion, Dick Grove's book was a crock of shit.
I think there was some true things in there, but Dick Grove's book was to make himself larger in
yeah,
Elvis.
Yes, yes, you're
yeah.
right.
That's what.
Dick
You
Grove.
hit the nail on the head. His book was written from a very bombastic point of view. It
Yeah,
was like,
that's what I like about it is there is no a prominent person in this other than Elvis. There's no, oh, well, this is all based upon what Sonny told him, or this is all based. He just told us, and the reference books, man. Geez, all the books he referenced were,
yeah,
he covered the spectrum.
he must have, it must have been a fucking nightmare trying to corroborate all those stories and cross referencing and all those kind of things. It must have been an absolute nightmare.
Wow.
I would love to see you met him.
But well done, very well written book.
Say that again, Joe.
I would have loved it if Shake Cam would have met him. Can you imagine? I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think Cam could hold himself, keep it back.
yeah,
I don't think he could. I don't think he could.
yeah. Yeah,
If
but
I,
that's what makes him so. Grove does have some good documentation about. Yeah, he does. The thing
oh,
about Cam is he get there's a different perspective from him than what I have, but it gives me a lot of thought and on my perspective, and it just goes to show you, at the end of the day, we're never going to know the 100% of the truth, but it's fun doing this.
no, oh, you mean if I'd met Dick Grove?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to even have a conversation with the guy because he's too far up his own ass,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
yeah,
Some people, and that's what I've always said on the show. Some people might like him, other people don't. I'm one of those people. I don't. Ever since I can remember, whenever that guy opened his mouth when it came to Elvis, there was always he had this air about himself. Even when you see him on interviews on television shows, he always sat there with I am the great Dick Grove, security chief to Elvis Presley kind of
yeah,
attitude.
yeah. She
Sure.
says in Grove's mind, he was the do all to end all.
Yes.
You have stories come up where he says that there was somebody next to the morgue underneath the sheet, a guy with a camera, and he
Hmm.
found him and pushed him out of there. Then you get somebody like Sam Thompson who says, "I won't talk about that." And I said, "Why?" He says, "Because it wasn't true." So he
Exactly.
didn't bring that up on the interview.
Exactly. Now that's a guy I would love to sit down and have a conversation with.
Yeah.
Sam, I would love to,
Oh,
because
yeah,
there's nothing about there's nothing about Sam's personality that even hints remotely to me that he's a blowhard. Nothing
yeah. I
at
would
all.
love to do an interview with him.
Nice
Get
guy.
him on here on a live or do a recorded interview with him. That would be so cool. You got to
Whereas,
hold on for Ginger too in that book. Yeah,
Oh, he
yeah,
hated her.
yes,
yeah,
I agree with Amy too. And remember, that's something I told you too at that one time. I don't know if we were listening to an interview he did or something in his book, and I still said to you, or you said to me, no, something's going on here between him and Ginger.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
I
yes,
think
Melissa.
he
Yeah,
made advances towards Ginger, and she
he did.
turned him flat on down, and because of that, his ass got bitter and thought, oh, well, now I'm going to burn you.
I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing, that he liked her and came on to her and she's, and that was it. And that's why he hates her so freaking. That's why he hated her so freaking much. I mean,
Yeah.
what else could it be? He never really mentions. He never
Yeah.
really
Hey, Rhonda.
Hey, Rhonda.
Thanks for listening. Yeah, I hope I hope you heard some of our.
I
mentions.
mean, it sounds terrible to admit, but that's the only reason why a guy would be so bitter towards a woman, because he obviously made advances towards her and she turned him flat on down and he thought, oh, well, fuck you, then I'm going to burn you.
Yeah. But it's gonna be nice to have a little bit of a change of pace, though. It's not the most uplifting book at times, but Lisa Marie's book is just it's one of those books that it just hits you.
Oh,
And
yeah, no, there's going to be times where the tears are going to roll, folks,
yeah,
but there's going to be times where there's going to be some good laughs too.
yeah. But Friday at 3 o'clock we do Elvis What Happened. Probably be a two-parter. I've been going through it and kind of breaking down chapter by chapter with highlights and notes and just so
Here's
we.
an Here's an idea. Ask ChatGPT to do an overall summary of the book.
Yeah, I could do that. Let's see what it says. Then we could discuss whether chat GPT is full of shit or the books, or they'll both be full of shit.
What
But
is that thing? What is it? Chat what?
it's
Chat,
the AI chat. It's like a Google. It's just like Google, but it's a little more AI, and it's good for if you use it for a if you use it for you
research.
know fake. Yeah, if you use it for research, it does a great job of heading you in the right direction. And I try to check the facts. And for example, with the stories that I do, I take the stories and I have them just kind of shorten them and give the highlights of the story. So when I read them, they're quick and just entertaining, that aspect. And then with Decoded, I've done the same thing. Every chapter we went through, I had to go through and just kind of do all the highlights and put it into a different format of how you read it, and then so it works out good. But what I don't like, I mean, I use it for graphics and things like that, but what I don't like about it is when people use it to make you think that it's Elvis doing something, or they use it for I don't know what you would say, but anyway.
Amy says, Joe, it's an app when you don't really want to read the book.
No, you don't.
Gee, that one burnt me and it didn't even come my
Gotcha. I'm staying out of that one.
I,
way.
I just want to say again, I think people are going to be surprised, and I hope I don't piss off anybody, but some of those stories in Elvis What Happened are true. I just think they've been blown out of proportion to sell the fucking book.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, like the pool table thing in the woman's breast. It's
Hey,
true.
hey, Richie boy. I don't give a shit whether you're Louis or not, but there will be no more discussion or mention of his name on this channel. I've mentioned this before. I like having you here, but keep his fucking name off my channel. He's a piece of shit. I'm not. I don't want the joking or not. If you are him, me. I don't think you are, but I don't like the jokes. I want nothing to do with him on this. This is a different conversation. So
I
you
missed
know. He's making jokes. I'm Bluey, and we're going for a catwalk and all that. Fuck him. I don't want his name mentioned here.
Okay,
So
just
that's
go.
it. All right, so let's move forward. Um, yeah, the book. It's going to be a lot of tears, and the same thing with. It's going to be the opposite. It's going to be a lot of irritation when we go through Elvis. What happened, but it'll be great discussion. You guys make great discussion, and having the four of us on the Friday show really makes it really interesting with all the different perspectives, and you guys add to it so much. Um,
You say I have 3 more albums coming out, the projects that I worked on?
yeah, you sent that to me. I was going to ask you what that's about. so I can promote it on here.
Oh, I put it on your site, and
Oh, okay.
Facebook, and then I went in, and then it wasn't there, and I said to myself, "That
Well,
prick."
wait a minute. You put it on my Elvis-A-Z?
Yeah, and then it wasn't there anymore. So I thought,
No,
well, okay.
no. I don't delete anything you put up there.
I thought
I
maybe okay, all right, yeah. No, there's three new ones coming out of ones that I had done before, but they've done if they've changed the cover, so they're repressings. The problem is everything that Elvis puts out now are repressings. We've heard the songs hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. So
oh,
just
Mhm.
the repressing kind of
I did. I'll have to check and see if there's been. It would have told me.
one is sold out.
Okay.
The one with the
Well,
nice
let's find out. So that I can promote it. On here on these shows. So,
little name is on the back.
but send it to me,
Yep,
and I'll post it myself and see what it does.
sure. And I'll send.
Maybe there's something in the settings I set for people because I really don't have a whole lot that post what you post. Maybe there's a setting in there no advertising because I used to get a lot of people advertising other stuff that
That's
I
what I
don't
thought.
approve of. So I'll check it out. We'll get it fixed.
That's what I thought. And I'll send the information to Shake. That's you.
Yeah,
That's you. Yep. What the freak?
Hey,
yeah.
you got it.
Send
You got
There you
information.
go.
Okay, so we got I'm Shake. Who's Rattle?
I thought, no,
Okay, so Shake, Rattle, Roll, and Thunder. That's the name it was for the Friday show. That's funny. That was a good one. Chat TV doesn't compare with all those people say that different with accurate timeline, so it gets a lot of wrong. Yeah, it does, and that's why I use it just for an initial maybe, and it has. It's headed me in the right direction a lot of times, and it's headed me in the wrong direction a lot of times. But it's great for. I'll tell you what, it's perfect for enhancing photos.
Mhm.
Oh my God! I took some old photos and I put it in Chat GPT, and I said enhance, and
Mhm.
it was like between night and day. I showed that to you the other day, didn't I, Cam?
Mhm.
Did I show that to both of you? Was it both of you that was?
Yeah, it's like it did the one picture of your mom and dad, and then the other picture when you guys were at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put these two up. These are the ones I showed the other day of my brother standing at the Grand Canyon, and the difference in the quality is unbelievable.
Hmm.
So here's the original picture. This is from a slide taken. This is in 1975. I'm going to cover everything up for a second. That's in 1975. That's the tall one. There's my brother's next to me in age, and the youngest little one there is David. Well, he's no longer with us. Um, so this is on our way moving from L.A. to California. We stopped at the Grand Canyon. Anyways, here's and all I did was stick it up on Chat G. Oops, what the fuck? What? I just unloaded. Hold on a second. Look at the difference. Look at the difference in quality.
Hmm.
And all I did was say enhance.
Mhm.
That's what I got. And yeah, I think I pay $5 a month for Chat GPT to get me to do as much as I do with graphics. But that's unbelievable. That's just unbelievable in the difference.
It's crazy.
Well, some people have been putting like my background here in through AIs, and once it's done and it's clear looking, they've done it with his bedroom and that, and then people call it fake
Yeah.
Wow.
because it was AI. And I said, "What do you mean? All it does is enhance it."
Yeah, it's not gonna add shit that's not in the picture.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, listen. Let me just address this real quick, Richie. I know I came down hard on you, but and I apologize for how I did come down on you. One joke about is funny, but when you keep on, we know how he is too. So that's why I got on it. Plus, I've had an issue the last couple of days with somebody else that's no longer that I've blocked away, and it was a serious issue. So I was just kind of on edge of that because I love my channel, I love the people that are here, but I also have to be cautious, and so I don't mind the little joke or the snide remark now and then, but let's not carry on the discussion. So I seriously apologize for how I came down on you. It just hit me at the it just hit me at the wrong time.
Rick, I,
We love having you here.
Rick, I sent you a pic
Okay.
of one of the albums.
By email? Okay.
Yeah, it's just for me to add my 10 cents in there. We went through so much shit with that guy, Richie. Just the mere mention of his name dredges up all that shit again, and it's not worth it.
Did it ever make you want to stop?
Yes.
Yes.
It really did.
Twice I
Mul-
almost just gave it up, but then my mind,
mul-
in the back of my head, I heard my dad saying, "You're gonna let him win."
yeah, and I did almost the first time too, and Rick was the one to say, hey, pull your finger. And then the other two times when it happened with Rick, I was the one to say no. But yeah, we came close three times. We were literally at that point to say, you know what, fuck it. So that's why I said to Richie now, the mere mention of that guy's name just fucking it takes me back to that time, and it's just we were literally I was physically ill for days, literally.
Come on.
So it's like the mere mention, even as a joke, just I go back to that point, and it's like fuck no. No, no, apology accepted, Richie. Just I thought it important also for you to understand where we coming from.
Mm.
Okay, move that.
Was
Say
the picture too big, Rick?
no. I saved. I had the savings set in the wrong for the
Oh,
wrong
okay.
place, so I had to. For some reason, when I fall asleep with my hand on my mouse, and sometimes I wake up with my whole computer reconfigured.
You know this guy sleeps so well, Joe. He falls asleep with a glass of water in his hand and wakes up the next morning and there's not a drop of water that's dripped on the floor. That's how fucking solid this guy sleeps when he sleeps.
I've done that a few times. All right, here's the picture right here, guys.
That's one of them.
Ooh,
Can you see it?
nice.
That's one of them. Yeah.
So, what's the history about this? You could buy these, or these are just.
You can buy these. This one is the one that sold out, but I'm sure there would be a repressing because it sold out so fast.
Well, I could put these up on my merch store, and they'll sell through there too.
Let me ask the owner of the
Oh,
company first.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. They don't just make Elvis ones; they make Beatles and Bowie's. Got
Oh, yeah.
one of free every one that comes out. I have
Oh,
a Beatle collection like you would not believe, and I'm not a Beatles, a Bowie. I'm not really a Bowie fan, and I've got tons of Bowie's albums that they put out and EPs and
yeah. I saw Bowie in '74. Saw him like a month after I saw Elvis at the Forum. It was the Ziggy Stardust tour. And I walked out. I go, why the hell did I come to this show? I like some of the songs, but he was out there in panties and high heels, and I'm just like,
was.
1974. It was just not what I was interested in.
Do you
Uh,
think do you think people will be able to open themselves up to Elvis what happened and maybe just you think they'd be able to open their minds and what does that sound?
I don't think they can hear it out there. There's something in the transmission. I got to get a hold of them again.
Oh,
I think with them, it kind of just blanks out our vocals. If you guys can hear a real heavy duty static now and then, let me know. But sometimes it's just more like a little blip to them.
It
But,
happens. It's
yeah.
come. It's become more prevalent since the last update again.
Plus, it's mostly private too at this time of the day because there's more people online,
Hmm.
and I think with them, so you hear the buzz. Okay.
so I was saying, do you think people will actually be able to open their minds and not say to themselves, "Well, this story is from Elvis. What happened? So it can't be real."
Um, I'm gonna try to drive the conversation in the aspect that we gotta realize that there's more than likely some true stuff in this book, because that gave the nod for Steve Dunleavy to expand on things, and it's also it's a smart move for an asshole like Steve Dunleavy to put those in there, because when people go through, they're, oh yeah, I know that's true. I remember that. Then they're going to start thinking, well, how much of this is really true? But when you
Hmm.
just put in bullshit for the whole book and have no backup, then people read it. Well, this whole book's bullshit. I've never heard any of this stuff. But
Hmm.
we're going to read this book, and we're going to go through this book, and we're going to hear, well, yeah, I know that happened. It's been told before. I know it's true. And
Hmm.
that's the way these type of writers do, is that they give you the bait, it's a bait and switch.
Hmm.
That's best way I can sum it. They bait you with the true stories, but then they switch it off to the fabricated, expanded, stories that the people wanted. A lot of people wanted to hear, and I would say the majority of the people that bought this book were not Elvis fans, and that's just my opinion. But it'll be interesting for me to revisit it after 50 years. Well, what am I? I'm six. Yeah, almost 50 years for me. Well,
They
yeah,
are
it'll be 50 years next year.
they are hearing that sound.
Yeah, I got to figure that out. It's irritating to me because I can't do anything about it now. But we had it eliminated for quite a while. It was just little now and then. But I know that they did an update. But I got to send them a support and just say, hey, listen, since your update, this is back and this is what's going on. It has to do with the latency transmission between what I do and my computer and all that. Did Red and Sonny record their stories for him? I would say that
I
Dave
would imagine they
recorded.
did. Mm.
I don't think Red and West recorded them, but I'm pretty freaking sure Steve Dunleavy recorded them.
Yes.
Amy says, I take every single story I hear about him and then cross reference it by physically pulling out other books and sources and comparing timelines, etc. I think a lot is embellished. That's why you should go to my, not pat myself on the back or anything, but you should go to my interviews and hear the stories
Yeah.
because, like I was saying to you, some of these stories are real.
Yeah, we
Mm.
need to decide which some of those interviews we need to put in with us on kind of, you know, um, do it in little sections at a time. But yeah, look, we should take a look at that.
People need to look at it like they've never read it before.
Mhm.
And they all said they had final manuscript approval in chapter 4. Well, when they drop a check in front of you, sign this so you get the check. I'm sure
You're
that
not you're not going to prove much.
yeah, and then I'm sure Dave Hebler kicks himself. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know.
Hitler, huh?
You said it, Rick. I like American places. Want to visit almost someday. Route 66 was nice. We drove just. Oh, he's talking to somebody else. Hey, Heather, welcome aboard.
You know.
I use you as a source too, baby. I don't know who she's talking to. Is it Shake, Rattle, and Roll?
So
Yeah. It's I'm excited about it actually. When I got it out last night and going through it, I got excited about the actual discussion we're going to have on this thing, and after based upon our last Friday thing. Now, also too, previous stories we've had, for what we started last Friday, and actually we actually started this last Monday, but some of those stories aren't dead in the water. There's going to be a update on some of these stories that we do. So don't go away. Save that channel. Save that time. Fix those rabbit ears so you can get us.
TCB My Way says Dave Hebler is a very angry man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He is. Did you yeah, that interview I saw last year during Elvis Week, what he did with those guys that do the Elvis on tour revisited, or he did an interview with them, and you could just feel the heat coming off of him, even over the video, just
Mhm.
his facial expressions, and the guy did an excellent job maintaining that conversation to calm him down at certain points, and just to let him know, I'm not here to attack you about anything. He says, I just want your side of the story. That's all.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. No, he's one of those. He's like a flat tire. You take him off your car and you throw him in the garage and you forget about him.
Yeah.
Where do you come up with these things? Your dad or what? Christ almighty. Well, I mean, I sent you guys a phone call. That's
Okay,
all.
I need to share something with you. You're going to enjoy this, okay?
Mm-hmm. Oh, is it what I'm thinking it
Yeah,
is?
it is. I come
Okay.
across this story, and I shared this a while ago, and I thought, you know what? I really need to share this with Joe because
Oh no.
great story. So there's this guy. This goes back to what, the early 1900s, and so there's this guy here. This is his second marriage, right? So this guy, his name is Valentina Vasileva. He gave he gave birth. No, he was married. let me start all over. There's a woman named Valentina who gave birth to 69 children. She had 27 different pregnancies between 1725 and 1765, including 16 pairs of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of
Quadruplets.
quadruplets. After she passed away, her husband, Theodore, I guess he didn't figure he had enough kids, so he had 18 more kids with his second wife, bringing his total offspring to 87.
Hey,
This is a fucking believable story. So here's a picture of the first round of kids. Some of them are probably died of old age by the time the youngest one was born. And I'm sitting here thinking, this woman, this first of all, she's got to be one of the most hottest looking women out there to ever walk the face of the earth.
she walks bow-legged.
No, here's
She must have.
yeah. They didn't have any pictures of her when she was older. This is when she was 19.
What a fox!
And pretty damn good reason. It's probably a good thing that she has no teeth because
Wouldn't know the difference.
no, I'm just, I just thought I sprung that on him one day as obviously a fake story, but I sprung that on Cam one day on the show and it's everything I could get through the whole story, and he saw that. I gotta find the video and take that as a clip, put it
and,
into
and,
one, put it into
and
one of our uh,
shorts.
shorts for
And
advertising.
Joe, when he originally sprung that story on me, I was like really going through something really tough that specific time. And that day was just like a really tough day for
It was
me.
a bad day
I
for
was
him.
really having a bad day that day. And you came with a story. And I tell you, I fucking literally cried with laughter.
Sometimes that's all you need is a laugh.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
it turns it around. It's the same thing with me. There's some days when I just like I don't freaking feel like doing this today, and then once I get into it, we guys are talking even before we even go live. The whole mood's changed because I'm with friends. I'm sitting here talking, and it's, with people, and it's great, man.
Because
Absolutely.
while he was reading the story originally, I had these mental images of this most drop dead gorgeous woman to walk the face of the planet, and then this picture of this woman. And I was like, oh my God,
What the
no.
fuck? All right, so guys, I'll put out a notification by midday tomorrow about Friday. As soon as I got everything, we're all coordinated. We've all agreed that we're going to do it at Fridays at 3 o'clock. It's going to be a regular show. So we're doing Elvis. What happened? So get your thinking caps on. Get your opinions out and share them with us. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation.
Mhm.
Um,
I think
and
so.
it's time, huh?
I think so.
Yeah, it was a perfect idea. Joe came up with the idea last week when we were doing the um the grif, the grifter show. Well, you should ask AI to enhance their picture.
Do
Oh
another
my God! You know what?
enhance her picture.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta do that.
I cannot wait for Farrah
Why?
Fawcett.
Oh
Because
shit!
Joe knows the JD story. No, you had mentioned that. I didn't know.
No, yeah, we have to read that story for Joe. When JD had throat trouble.
Looking forward to seeing you too, Amy.
Oh yeah, that story. Yeah, he wasn't there that day. Okay, I don't
No.
want to use stacks. I want to sort. Why does it freaking do this? Sort by name. Thank you. I fell asleep with this freaking thing in my hand. All right, coffee date. There it is. Come on, stories. All right, here we go. This I'm going to enhance this baby. It only takes a few seconds. This is gonna be hilarious. I can't imagine what this is gonna be like. Enhance photo. It'll probably break it. Break the machine.
Break ChatGPT.
Come back in 4 hours when we're done.
Bye, Ellen.
Yeah.
This is all
Bye,
right.
Elvis.
Jesus, I'm sorry, guys. Keep 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 on keep on. What am I thinking of the Partridge Family? Oh
Bye.
no, that was the Brady Bunch, wasn't it?
Take care, Jerry.
856 856. Gives me a code. I got to get back in again. 502.
Charlie said he's put his water far away and he's looking out onto the deck.
All right, I'm gonna have to do it another time because it's not letting me into ChatGPT because I cleared my history today and took away all the cookies. So now I had to try to remember my password to ChatGPT. And I'm gonna
President
try.
said,
I'm gonna,
President Mania said maybe add some brown teeth to the pick.
Do you have that? Do you have that JD story on hand?
um, no, I'll have to pull it out. That takes a while to go through.
Night
But
Lord.
Oh, you haven't got it in a folder that you put it into.
it's just I just pull it straight out of the book. So
Oh,
um, when I do it, so I'd have to. Okay, 470.
Well, we all
it,
done? There's something I gotta go do. I'm sorry. You're all done? I gotta go do something. That's why. I'm sorry. Just bring it up.
Okay, here we go. I'm doing this now. One here, enhance.
oh.
One. Oh my God! It's enhancing.
Oh, you got it.
Oh
You got
no, I gotta stay.
Yeah, it's enhancing right now.
it. I'm almost too afraid to look.
I know it'll come back and looking like Mr. Ed. Making the first draft. It's setting the stay. Thinking. All it did was make her face fucking clear. Jesus. Okay. Old. And here we go. It's coming now. Right? Where'd she go? There she is. All right. Let's see what she's. Well, at least you can see her a whole lot clearer.
Are you trying to say
Oh, fuck! It looks like she has a mustache.
she does?
Jesus.
She got
All
better
right.
mustache than I do. She
All
got better
right.
mustache than my mother does.
It's one ugly ass woman, but you
Oh
know,
God, that was,
she's more than 18 there.
I'm sure that was way after she had several of them.
She didn't even exist.
That's a fake face.
It's the whole story's fake.
And I had them in my mind too, just going down in like the 25th one, you know.
Hey, listen, guys, we've had fun. Watch for notifications. Some things are changing. I think for the better for the channel as far as some of the shows we're adding. All the other shows are the same. This week is Inside is a replay. Next week we have Kyle on the show with us with the three songs he picked. And then we got the radio show Friday night and Saturday's part 3 of the Sunny West interview. So lots in store. Everybody, thanks for your comments. It's nice that we got through this Decoded with some great conversation and some really interesting thoughts and opinions out there from everybody.
Yeah, and just from my side, my regular thank you to everybody for watching, and a special thank you to Amy and Rhonda for popping in and gracing us with their presence. It was nice
Yeah,
to have you guys here too.
yeah, it's nice to have other channels support other channels. It's great.
Hmm.
So, Joe,
Yes.
thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Love the hat. Got to try to get one to Cam somehow.
Yeah,
You have to reverse it, Joe. Put it on back to front.
I'm gonna do this one. I don't want to break that thing up. The hell would you? I'm going to break my hat. I
It,
love it.
it misses the whole point of having blue suede crew on the front.
Well, then put one on the back.
All right, on Sunday you're going to have to share your guitar that you got this week. Your nice new
Oh,
um,
yeah.
that you got as a gift, right? You got
Mm-hmm.
that from your. Yeah, I'll let you tell about it. So, anyways, thanks everybody. I enjoyed it, and we will see you all Friday, hopefully 3 o'clock. See ya.
Thank you, guys.